Chat, just so you know that there's measurements taken on what kind of like what the core factor that causes a society to remain coherent is across the world. I'm sure you've seen this, Aiden, because it's data. But there's the analysis, and most Western countries are shame cultures. There are some, very few, which are fear cultures, and then most other countries, including I think Russia and the Middle East, are, what was the other one? I'm sure you remember what it was.
I'm not familiar, but I know that Scandinavian cultures are heavy shame cultures.
Yes. Now, it may sound bad, but shame is in fact the correct of these various negatives. Honor, it may have been honor, yes. Shame is in fact the various of these the best of these various negatives that you use, the negative reinforcement in society. And what we're doing in Cabal with the bullying is just bringing that forward, bringing back the amount of shame there should be, because how would you sabotage a society that depends upon shame to remove bad behavior? You disencourage the shame. What's been happening to our society? In many, many ways, it's been discouraged. We've become, in many ways, softer, and people often use that as a blanket statement. But in this specific way, we've become a lot more tolerant of things that we shouldn't be tolerant of, and frankly, intolerant of things we should be tolerant of. So shame is a way to build a gradient hierarchy that does not require a top-down organization. People will naturally do the appropriate level, the appropriate amount of shaming to get rid of things that don't work, or to encourage those people who have qualities that aren't useful to drop them and adopt better ones, to improve. And the shame employed by each individual is a very natural process. It's pretty much direct contact with evolution, which is generally something to encourage because evolution is meritocratic. So this is why it's a good idea. So if any of you think that I am too harsh to my opponents, if you, for Aiden, for example, or Carl, think that I'm too mean, if Spoon thinks that I'm too unreasonable, too nasty to him, and thinks that I don't like him very much, or whatever else, you think I'm too mean to someone in
have I ever
Cabal,
said that, though?
I don't know. I'm just guessing. But
no.
Probably I have a reputation for being quite cruel, quite aggressive online with people, quite difficult to get along with for a lot of people. I think I am trying to be, or I am naturally being.
You're being objective.
I'd hope to be a beacon for this shame culture. Maybe even overcompensating a bit myself, because society is undercompensating. It's under-providing this natural merit gradient.
No, and I think it's why you and I have gotten along, is that, one, I think that you're dedicated to being objective, and two, I think that, look, I agree. People need to be bullied. As someone who was bullied really horrifically in my own personal life, a certain level of bullying is necessary, okay? I think for you to have a healthy society, a certain level of bullying is kind of necessary.
Yeah.
I know that is not a popular opinion, but come on, guys. Like, you need to bully people a little bit so they know what to do and not to do. Because if you don't bully people, they don't have a trajectory by which to understand when they're fucking up.
They need negative reinforcement. They need influences from all sides. You need that corridor of benefit, corridor of merit to be formed to them to travel through. And that corridor is formed by negative reinforcement on one side, positive reinforcement on the other. And from all different kinds of influences too, which is why anyone should have a broad range of influences of people who are part of our society. Even people that are just outside it, but obviously be careful with that.
Just showering people with sunshines and rainbows is not going to help them. It is actually harmful to them.
Yes, exactly. That's to my next point. Always be suspicious of people who think they know better than evolution, of people who think that they can, just by like removing something that is natural, removing something that has been done through all of human history, but is unkind or in some way viewed as nasty, that they'll make things better. No, we do not live in a world where the immediate, visible, and short-term nice things are good. They're part of the process, but they are not the end goal. The end goal is what you get when you have all the kinds of influences. And the end goal is far better and far more lasting in its quality than the very short-term, very superficial niceness. And too much of that will cancel out that end goal. You need both influences. It is not about the immediate. It is not about the direct. Nothing in human life almost nothing, is about the immediate or direct or short-term or surface level. It's always about the indirect and what can happen 6, 7, 8 million steps down the road in this process, such that even the small things on a small scale, but done by everyone, can make the most change.
And social media has completely this, by the way, because typically speaking, if people are being nice or positive towards you and things that you're doing, it's because they're close friends and family members who probably know you to some pretty significant degree. But now we get an inundation of, and I'm not even talking about if you're an influencer, right? You come out on social media and say, I was raped or something like that. You're going to get so much positive affirmations from people who do not know a single goddamn thing about you. They're going to just tell you, you're always right. You're always right because of this, that, or the other. For whatever reasons, it's usually it's not consistent. It could be the same thing where like, hey, I was canceled because of a bunch of Antifa, whatever. Like it could be that. It's very, very uncommon comparatively to the I was raped or I'm a leftist and I'm sad about things. But it could be both, and both have happened. People just are that is totally disconnected, though, from real world interactions with other people who mean something to you and can actually talk to you in a meaningful way, and that you can have that kind of relationship with. So yeah, like, I mean, that's the unfortunate reality, I suppose, of social media mind brain rot, you know?
That is one side of it, yes. I think social media is the same human behavior that always existed, but amplified. And we see more of the dark corners of it. So it's nothing new. It's just a new tool. We have to adapt to it, I'm afraid. There's no way around it. But yes, Aiden's correct. That is a danger.
Yeah.
All right,
it is right. It's nothing new. It's just amplified.
Yeah.